What's up, everybody? Relish here. I was asked a question in Discord why I chose a Xbox Series X over a PS5. I'm here to tell that to you right now. So, I always wanted to have a PS4. I bought one for my brother when it first came out. I did end up getting one for myself. I always kept an eye on the PlayStation series and their exclusives just because I've had a PlayStation 3, or I had a PlayStation 3, and I really enjoyed the games on the PlayStation 3. I also had an Xbox 360, and I liked that, but I had that later on in the Xbox's lifespan, and I always just wanted to go back to PlayStation for various reasons, just because their exclusives are better. So I've only had a Nintendo console for most of this generation. I had a Wii U, one of the only few to have a Wii U, but I had one. And then I also bought a Nintendo Switch within the first month of launch. Now I've loved my Nintendo since I've gotten it. Haven't had any issues with the software. I've had a few hiccups hardware wise, but that for another video. So we bought my son a PS4 for his birthday because he had been wanting one to play with his friends. So we ended up getting him one. Slowly but surely, I bought a few PS4 exclusives. God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn being two of them. Now, I really enjoyed those games. With the little bit of time I was able to play with them. But I wanted to get a PlayStation system of my own. Had my eye on a PS4 Pro. I didn't end up getting it because shortly after, the PS5 and Xbox Series systems were announced. When my wife and I decided it was okay to go ahead and buy the new consoles, I decided I wanted to give PS5. The PS4 exclusives that I had missed from the previous generations, plus the new PS5 games coming out, I was sold on getting a PS5. I had my heart set on it, and you wouldn't have been able to change my mind otherwise. My intent was to buy a PS5, but play PS4 exclusives that I had missed from the previous generation. I was hyped for Spider-Man Miles Morales to come out, as well as the Spider-Man PS4 remastered version also coming to the PS5. The load times for those games were magnificent in the tech previews that we saw, and I wanted to get one for sure. I kept my eye on Microsoft because Xbox Game Pass was something that always intrigued me. I had been paying attention to that since it was pretty much announced, and I encouraged my son, who at the time did have an Xbox One. I was not excited for the PS5 price increase for games being $70 versus $60, though we haven't had a price increase for video games since probably the past 15 years. I think the last increase was around 2005 or 2006. I'm not one to typically buy every game day one. I will wait for price decreases and price drops. The one thing that continued to catch my eye was Microsoft and Xbox Game Pass. That's the one thing that I keep going back to is Xbox Game Pass. When Microsoft bought Bethesda, that shook my mind. Not that Microsoft couldn't do it, but Bethesda is a big game publisher. Skyrim, Fallout, they have a lot of different exclusives. Only being on Xbox is pretty huge. Once Microsoft bought Bethesda, I noticed that they were taking this next generation very seriously. The one thing that Xbox lacked in the past generation was exclusives. They didn't have very many, and the ones that they did have were not always very good. Halo, from what I heard, was a disappointment, and the Halo Master Chief Collection was not very good at launch. It's become better, way better than it was before, but it still was not very good. The one thing that I noticed after the first wave of PS5 consoles coming out was that the PS5 hardware was not ready for launch. They had bug issues, system issues that caused some PS5 owners to lose data, their save data for games that they have been playing. While I noticed that Microsoft's Xbox Series consoles were more prepared for launch, though they lacked console exclusive games. The one thing that I've noticed from this generation is there aren't very many just console exclusives. While Sony does have a few over Microsoft, there aren't very many to warrant the purchase of this next gen hardware. $500 for most people is a lot of money to come out of pocket for something that is clearly not ready. Though the Nintendo Switch had the same issues, only having Breath of the Wild and a few other games to choose from. It's hard to justify the price of paying that much up front to basically be somewhat of beta testers. While Xbox lacks exclusives right now, the one thing that you can count on is Game Pass. For $1, you can get Xbox Game Pass for 3 months. That is a huge value, and I would definitely encourage you to at least try out the software. Now, I know that Sony has their own monthly subscription service that you can use to play their games, though their catalog is lackluster, to say the least, compared to Xbox Game Pass. I get a large library of games for $15 a month that myself and my son can both play. Now, I know we don't own these games, but we can still play them. With these consoles, you having to download everything, it's a better value and proposition of me not having to get up and change out every single game with a disc when I want to switch. Back to the PS5, there have been issues with Ratchet and Clank and Returnal 1 being the game saves and your PS5 being put into rest mode. Easy fix for the developers to do. Push an update. Once you reload the game, the save that's saved is deleted. With Ratchet and Clank, when you were playing, the game would crash, and that's a huge issue for me playing a game, having to reload. Granted, you do have faster reload times, but for a parent or child that doesn't have a lot of time, the amount of time that you have is limited, so you can't be bothered with having to reload your game every once in a while. With Sony has a clear direction of where they want to take their games. They want major releases every time they release their games, and they want bangers every single time. While Microsoft, their intent is for you to get Game Pass. Everything that they do is pointed towards Game Pass. And to me, that's a better value for me and the position that I'm in, with being able to play a lot of games for a less amount of money. I know, like I said previously, you don't own these games, but as long as you pay for the service, you do. And if you want to purchase a game that's leaving Game Pass, you can do so at a discount. Most of the time, it's cheaper than any other discount that you're going to get for that game. I know Sony's lineup will increase as the months pass, as well as the New Horizon and God of War potentially coming out next year. With the pandemic, I know it's caused issues and delays with game systems, but Sony has continued to sell consoles. A lot of people are buying Sony consoles, and you are warranted in buying these consoles. Sony has a great product. Microsoft has a great product. At the end of the day, it's all about what you want and what's best for you. I just encourage you to make an informed decision, do your research, and decide from there. To me, Game Pass is the best value in gaming right now. They call it the Netflix of gaming for a reason. I have actually been playing my Xbox more than my Nintendo Switch since I got it. And that's saying a lot because that was the only system I had prior to this. If you're still looking to purchase a PS5 or an Xbox Series system, please check in the link down in the description below for Wario64's Twitter and also Jake Randall's Twitter. They can assist you with purchasing these systems. Now, you will have to continue to fight bots to get them, unfortunately, at this moment, but it's not impossible. I got an Xbox Series X from Target probably about 3 or 4 months ago, thanks to Jake Randall's live stream on how to purchase it from Target. Like I said, if you are still looking for the system, check in the link down below for a system. Let me know what you've thought about this video. If you agree with me, let me know. If you don't, tell me why down in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching that video. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you get notified when I post my next video. You can catch me live on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I've got Instagram and Twitter. Please give me a follow. Links down in the description below. Thank you for watching that video. Peace.